Hello, today we're going to talk about Libra. You were probably born under that sign if you're watching this video. Most probably you were born under the sign Libra, or you know someone who was born under that sign. What is going to happen to Libra people? Lots of things, of course, in 2019. It's a full year, so many things will happen for sure. Now, some of the planets around the zodiac are going to affect the sign Libra in various ways. For example, Jupiter will have a very beneficial influence, while Saturn and Pluto may counteract a little bit that beneficial influence of Jupiter. Why? Because Jupiter has begun its transit into Sagittarius today. Today is the 8th of November 2018. The transit is going to last until the 3rd of December next year, so 2019. It's a bit more than 1 year, 13 months, just about. Now, Jupiter is a fire sign. Sagittarius is a fire sign. And actually, Jupiter represents Sagittarius. As we say in astrology, Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius. Therefore, because it is a fire sign and because this Libra is an air sign, they're very compatible. It doesn't mean that a Sagittarian can live with a Libra person, but according to the elements that represent each sign symbolically, these are compatible signs. So whatever there is in that sign here in Sagittarius is in harmony with Libra. And because Jupiter represents expansion, progress, success, luck, it is probably going to have a nice influence, a good influence on whatever Libra want to achieve in 2019. Whatever you want to achieve if you were born under that sign. Do you have an important project that you want to realize concretely in 2019? If so, Jupiter will give you more enthusiasm and more optimism. You'll be more open-minded, you'll be more receptive to what you have to do. Opportunities will rise, and you will probably feel it right from today onwards until early December next year. And it's going to help you for sure, because meanwhile, Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn have not really helped you over the past years or so. Saturn is in Capricorn since December 2017, and Pluto is in Capricorn as well, but it's been in Capricorn since 2008, 2009. Pluto represents what we have to accept to lose. It may be someone, it may be something, it may be a job, it may be a relationship, whatever. It is important, strong, and it reaches deep inside. So there could be something quite black, dark inside, since something happened between 2008 and today. Now Pluto is going to remain in Capricorn until 2024, another few years. It's not negative, but it's not very pleasant. It's like you have to accept to abandon some values or important values that may be important on the material side, but also on the human side. So I think that Pluto is not the best friend to Libra at the moment. And because Saturn is reaching the position of Pluto, which will create a conjunction, or just about a conjunction, on the 1st of May, you see here, 1st of May next year, 2019, Pluto will reach 23 degrees in Capricorn, while Saturn on the 30th of April will reach 20 degrees and 31 minutes in Capricorn. And then both planets are going to begin a retrograde motion. But that near conjunction is interesting because it represents most probably what you will come to accept as far as losing something or someone. It can be, as I said earlier, something important on a human relationship, or on a material relationship, or both. Why not? Now, if you prepare yourself to something like that, it may happen because you feel somehow that it may very well happen. You should know that it may not happen, because the conjunction is not going to be exact until 2020, because Saturn will retrograde, Pluto will retrograde, and as you see here, Saturn will retrograde until the 18th of September, and it will reach 13 degrees 55, so almost 14 degrees. It will retrograde to 14 degrees, whereas Pluto will only retrograde to 22 degrees. When it starts again, its direct motion will be on the 3rd of October. And at the end of the year, Saturn will be at 21 degrees 17 and Pluto at 22 in Capricorn. So it is almost a conjunction, but not quite. We need the planet to reach that position of the other planet to call it a real conjunction. And that will happen in 2020. So it's possible that what you fear may end in 2019 will not end, even though it may reach that feeling that it may almost be so at the end of April. It probably won't happen yet, but it will. So you need to be prepared, and preparing yourself to maybe the event that will actually occur concretely in 2020 will allow you to act in the best possible way in order to get the most out of what will happen, and also in order not to be too affected by such event. Because in 2020, not only Saturn and Pluto will join into a conjunction in Capricorn, but Jupiter will also be there. Jupiter will enter into Capricorn on the 3rd of December 2019. And for the whole of 2020, Jupiter will be with Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn. So it's probably during that year that what you need to lose, because what may happen belongs to your life path. So it means that it is very important to you as far as progress on a spiritual level, on a karmic level is concerned. So what you are going to lose then will most probably have a beneficial effect in your life if you are prepared and if you don't consider yourself a victim of what happens eventually. If you know that something may eventually end, maybe not in 2019, perhaps in 2020, most likely in 2020, then be prepared. Because if you do so, if you are prepared, it will be much easier for you to organize what needs to be organized and to do what needs to be done in order to get the most out of the event itself, even though that event may not be very agreeable, very nice. It may not be a very happy event, but it is part of your life path. And this is what is important. The fact that you recognize that what is going to happen, even though it may be very, very important and it may even hurt very deeply, it is very positive as far as the karmic law is concerned, and as far as your life path is concerned, as far as your spiritual evolution is concerned. So because Jupiter is in Sagittarius, or will be in Sagittarius until almost the end of this year, 2019, and because Jupiter will form what we call a beneficial aspect with your sign, this is a sextile, fire and air, then I would suggest that you try to make the most out of 2019 to progress as far and as high as you can, because it may not be so easy for you in 2020. And if you prepare yourself during 2019, if you make the best of what happens, of all the opportunities that may come to you, well, in 2020, even though there may be some difficulties ahead, you will be much more able to go through and probably to have a more philosophical look at what happens. And it is your point of view that's going to be very important, because whatever the event, it is the point of view to such event that makes the importance of the event. Like if something very important happens in your life, what is it going to do to your neighbor? Probably not much, because your neighbor don't have the same point of view as you. He's not concerned the same as you are with your own life and whatever, unless you sleep with your neighbors. And it's different. But Jupiter will be your friend this year. In 2019, you can count on Jupiter to make things happen in a very positive way. So success may come to you in 2019, but be prepared for 2020. When Jupiter reaches the position of Saturn and Pluto, the wind is going to turn around, and it may turn around against you, or if not against you, at least it's not going to blow in your direction as much as you would like it to. So if you have done what needs to be done in 2019, then 2020 will not be that bad after all. Because after that, 2021, Jupiter and Saturn will change sign together, just about together, almost together, to transit into Aquarius. Now, Aquarius is an air sign. So being an air sign, it is in direct, compatible relationship with Libra. So it means that 2019 is a year during which you should try to make the best of what comes to you. 2020, try to preserve yourself from hardship and whatever may happen that is not going to be so nice. Because if you do so, and also if you are prepared to face up to reality in 2020, even though that reality may not be so nice at all, then in 2020 the rewards will come to you. So think it that way. 2019, a year to prepare yourself for 2020. A year during which it may not be so easy. But the effort and the work that you will put into whatever happens in 2020 will be rewarded in 2021. We've got time to talk about it, but I will do so next year when I do all those videos again for all the signs of the zodiac for 2020. And we'll do so for 2021 and so on, if I'm still around, of course, which I hope I will. So now, those two planets and this one, the three planets, but there are other planets that will also have an influence. For example, this one here. What is this one? This is Neptune. Neptune is transiting its sign of rulership too. Like Saturn, Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn, Jupiter the ruler of Sagittarius, Neptune the ruler of Pisces. And as you can see, between the signs, between Pisces and Sagittarius, there is what we call a square aspect, which is a dissonant aspect, which is not harmonious. Water and fire don't mix very well together. But in between we have the Earth sign, Saturn and Pluto in that Earth sign are in harmonious aspect with Neptune here in Pisces, because here we have an Earth sign, here a water sign, and Earth and water mix very well together in a very constructive way. So, even though Neptune will create what we call an inconjunct with your sign, with Libra, the inconjunct is an aspect that shows that there is something to understand and something to do, but we tend to not do it and not understand. Somehow, Neptune can bring up some confusion in your life, in the sense that it will not motivate you to go forward, to do what you should do, and you know what you should do, but you don't do it. You don't do it, you say or you think, we'll do it tomorrow, or I will do it next week, next month, next year, why not? Neptune has been in Pisces since 2012, and it will remain in that sign until 2026. and then it will travel into through Aries. But we'll talk about it later. Now, Neptune here represents the potential this year due to that relationship with Jupiter may indicate a tendency to believe too much. So we all need to believe in something, maybe God, maybe something else. We need also to trust ourselves, to be confident. And that aspect or that configuration linking Jupiter and Neptune may make you overconfident in 2019, may also make you over-trustful in other people perhaps, or in what you want to achieve in projects, or in through the opportunities that may arise, as I said earlier, thanks to the influence of Jupiter. You'll have to be careful because the link between Jupiter and Neptune may make you too unrealistic, because Neptune represents what we dream about, what we hope for, but not necessarily what's going to happen clearly and surely in a concrete manner. And if you are not prepared to be more realistic about what you want to achieve in life in 2019, just because Jupiter will help you, will push you forward and upwards, most probably, you may feel that nothing can stop you, or no one can stop you. And you may also enter in a logic of what I believe I will get. What I put my mind to, I will eventually get. Right, maybe you will. I wish you will. But because Neptune is in conjunct, is creating an in conjunct with your sign, it is possible that you may be more waiting for things to happen, for nice things to happen, because just because you dream, or perhaps you pray for those things to happen, but you may not be sufficiently active for them to happen. So you will need to make an effort to do what has to be done in order to get what you want to get. Otherwise, you won't get much in 2019. And in 2020, you will feel very guilty because, of course, success will not be the reward that you may have expected from what happens in 2019 thanks to Jupiter. Jupiter is the biggest planet, the largest planet of the solar system. It is 1,300 times the size of the Earth, and it turns around itself in only a little bit more than 7 hours. So it has a very, very strong energy, and that energy is linked to the idea of progress, success, and growth. So it is probably what you are going to feel and to know in 2019, but to some extent, because of Neptune, some of what you're going to get may be gotten more in your head than on the paper itself, like, you know, not very concretely. So try to make things as concrete and solid and objective, rational as possible. Otherwise, you'll be fooling yourself, or someone may be fooling you. So you may be disillusioned after the year ends, or after the transit of Jupiter in Sagittarius ends. It is a very important transit because Jupiter is transiting its sign of rulership, which makes it much stronger as far as its energy is concerned. So yes, we'll all be affected by the transit of Jupiter, of course, but to some extent, we need to be prepared to that rise up of the energy to success. So we all want to succeed in some way. We all want to progress. We all want to have a better life. But that better life is not going to come just like that because of your, because it's you. No, it will come because you will do something for it to come. Uranus. Uranus is going to enter into Taurus in March, on the 6th day of March 2019. Now, it's been transiting into Aries since 2011. 7 years it takes to transit into a sign. It has entered into Taurus on the 15th of May 2018, this year. But then it retrogrades again, like all planets, you know. And on the 8th of November, so today, Uranus has entered back into Aries. And Aries is the sign opposite yours, you see. So during that transit in that sign, Uranus in Aries, Uranus may have produced very, very drastic changes in your life. Perhaps in relationship, but in other areas as well. And now that Uranus has gone into Taurus for a while, and now that it is coming back into Uranus for another while, for 4 months, just about, it is coming back to, so that you go back to what has changed during the last 7 years, to reflect on what has changed and why and how and when, because that will help you probably accept and get more out of those changes rather than feel a victim of those changes. And Uranus, when it goes back into Taurus, it will form an inconjunct with your sign again, just like Neptune. And the inconjunct is an aspect that shows us what we should do, but doesn't give us the incentive to do what we should do. So, as I said earlier, we may say, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it next week, next month, next year. Well, Uranus is going to remain for 7 years in Taurus. So if for 7 years you say all the time that you're going to do it tomorrow, next week or next year, you're not going to achieve much in 7 years. But thanks to Pluto and to Saturn until the end of 2020, there will form a trine, which is a very beneficial aspect with Uranus. That means that if you do things in a rational and concrete manner, and if you make the effort to accept what needs to be abandoned, changed, or left behind, because that's it, that's finished. In life, we have to regenerate ourselves. Our body does so without us noticing it. Our cells die and are reborn again on a regular basis, but we don't feel anything. This is called regeneration. And Pluto represents the ability that the human body and animal body and the insects also, I guess, to reject by the natural way what the body doesn't need after we've eaten. So every morning we go to the toilet, or at night, or in the afternoon, whatever. That's regeneration. If we don't do that, after a while we get really sick and we can die. So we need that regeneration. So Pluto represents regeneration. And because it is in a difficult aspect with Libra, it seems that since 2008 or 9, regeneration has not been so easy for them, and for you if you were born under that sign. And it doesn't only act physically, it also acts psychologically, emotionally, or in your sentimental life, whatever. The fact is that Pluto forces that regeneration. It forces some parts of your life to die, because dying means being born again, and being born differently to what you have been before. If you accept that, then you can go forward. Otherwise, you are stuck in the past and in that suffering that may have been transferred by the events in your life, and you're not progressing. That's why you should use 2019 and the good energy of Jupiter to move forward and to accept what is going to happen in 2020, if effectively in 2020 you need to lose somebody, or to lose a relationship, or to lose your job, or to lose money, or whatever it is. It will be important, of course. It's not going to be something trivial. No, it's going to be something very important, because those planets are karmic planets, and because the karma is something very heavy sometimes, well, you have to get prepared, because if you are prepared, you will be able to deal with what happens, and then you will reap the rewards. Very nice. To continue with the influence of the planets, we'll talk about Mars, but only when Mars transits your sign. From the 5th of October 2019 until the 20th of November 2019, Mars will transit your sign. Mars is the god of war. So when it does transit one's sign, whatever it is, well, one becomes more aggressive, more combative as well. So that can be useful. Useful because if you need to decide, if you need to impose yourself on someone, or at work or wherever, then Mars will help you do that. But it will also make you more aggressive, more reactive, more impatient. And impatience may make you more take more risks than you should, and then incidents may happen, accidents may happen also. So during that period of time, you should try and also put your foot on the brake, not just on the accelerator, which is represented by Mars. Use the brake. The brake will probably allow you to go further and safer in a more intelligent way as well, instead of taking the risk of an incident or an accident. And then another transit, interesting transit, will happen when Venus transits into your sign. And that will be from the 15th of September until the 9th of October. Venus, planet of love. A nice planet for Libra because tradition says that Venus is the ruler of Libra. So it's going to be strong in that sign. And it's going to give you more charm, more positive energy, more luck as well. And you will feel more compassionate about other people. And because your vibration is going to be more attractive in a very subtle way, you will find that you get things done much easier, in a much easier way during that short period of time, because it's only going to last for 3 weeks. But 3 weeks, what happened in 3 weeks can have repercussions for a much longer time. So if you are prepared also for that transit of Venus in your sign, most probably you will benefit from it a lot more than if you don't know that transit is happening. So if you know someone else who was born under that sign, Libra, well, warn that person. Tell that person that during that time, 15th of September until the 9th of October, luck may strike in its own way. And that's it for now. I have finished that video. I hope that you enjoyed it, even though I have difficulties to find my words at times because I speak French much more than I do English. For many years now I have been back to France, and therefore I don't speak English as often as I would like to. And I find it sometimes difficult to get the words that I do find so easily in French, of course, because it is my mother tongue, as we say. Thank you anyway for your interest in my work and for your patience. If you have needed patience to look at my video, and if you need some advice, if you need an answer to one question that you are asking yourself about something that you may want to do or something that may happen to you, don't hesitate to visit my website, and I will be very happy to help you in any way I can. Thank you very much. Bye for now.